Welcome to the Soul Tribe Podcast. The Soul Tribe Podcast was created to help you navigate through the world of spirituality, wellness, and self-development in an easy, grounded, and relatable way. We break down everything from the Akashic Records, manifesting, spirituality, and so much more. We want to help expand your boundaries and bring the spiritual world to you in a fun and easy way. Get ready to be inspired with tips, tools, and easy to digest information. Let's do this.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Soul Tribe Podcast. Lorraine and I are back together again.
Hallelujah.
After 2 solo episodes. And, well, I wanted to start talking about first how insane the time is going. Like, it's like I don't even have a word to say, because to say it's going quick, it's like an underestimation, at least for how I'm experiencing where I am.
I feel the same. Yeah.
And now I get when I was studying about like the cosmic universe and the changes that are coming and how we have, 20 to 30 years for 3D to be completely gone, and for everything that's vibrating here only vibrates in 5. And everyone's like, oh, 20 to 30 years, okay. And then like everyone's saying, no, you don't understand. Like it's 20 to 30 years with a 5th dimensional frequency, which means it's going to feel like maybe 10.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually already happening. We're already in it, guys. We're already in the middle of it. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one listening right now and talking right now that knows, senses it, and has been experiencing it.
I mean, the fact that we both came on the call and we were like, what is going on? I was just talking to Lou because obviously every November we do our prediction episode for the following year according to the Akashic Records. And I'm like, Lou, we have to start planning that out. Like, what questions are we going to I'm probably going to do like a poll on social media and be like, hey, what kind of questions are you guys, like, what are the topics you guys want us to ask about so we can get your feedback? Because obviously we do this for you guys. But Lou's like, oh my God, I thought it was like 6 months away. I'm like, that's like that's probably like 2 weeks time. We need to record that. 3 weeks time tops.
I like looked at you, like you said to me, we got to talk about when we're going to record our 2023 episode. And I looked at her like saying, God, it's like 6 months away. Why is she asking me right now?
It's real soon. No, it's real soon. I mean, being honest, I feel like the end of the year usually feels like it goes faster anyway. But this feels different.
No, this is different.
It's different. Plus, we're in eclipse season.
I want to talk about that, actually.
The 25th of October is eclipse. Yeah, so I don't know.
It's a very, 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 very important one for those that like are trying to create their changes and their shifts and their ascensions. And so this, like, don't underestimate the one that's coming, because this one and the next one after that seem to be very, very important for those souls that are signing up for the changes. So
you need to take action right now.
Yeah. And the 25th, so it's about closing cycles.
Yeah.
Right? It's a lot about like, you have to close everything in your life, but you're going to find that a lot of people are closing up cycles. I'm hearing people literally in the last week, this week, I've heard people announce, I'm moving away.
Yes.
I've gotten a new job offer. I'm taking it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ending my relationship. Like, I cannot tell you the amount of cycles I hear are closing.
Same here. Or people feeling it, like really deeply feeling the emotions of that right now.
And it's not like a small cycle where like, oh, I'm just changing. I'm just going to move to the house next door. No, like these are like big moves, relationships that have been together for years and years ending, jobs that you've been in for a very long time. Like these are really big cycles these people are closing.
Big life changes, like literal life changes. But I think also it'll affect everybody differently in different aspects of their life according to where it hits you in your natal chart. So you'd have to check. I don't know if I can find something online. I'm like kind of looking now to see if there's anything I can find that I can maybe include that could help.
So, well, I looked this up the other day. You're supposed to see where it hits your natal chart. You're supposed to see where Scorpio hits your 2 degrees. Wait, in what house it falls?
In the house. Yeah, I think the house. Yeah.
Yes. You're supposed to find the house. What is it for you?
A good question. Let me pull that right up because I have all.
Ooh, astrologer, go ahead.
So, well, I have an ascendant in Scorpio, so I'm definitely feeling this I'm feeling this energy. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, feeling it. Gosh, I don't know. You keep talking while I look this up because this might take a little bit of time.
So supposedly you're supposed to check, like you go to your natal birth chart and then you check under Scorpio and see where the 2 degrees, what house is under that 2 degrees. I think mine is the 10th house. I think.
Well, I have an ascendant in Scorpio, so obviously it's in the first house. But I also have something in the 12th house.
Well, why would it be the first house?
Maybe it's
I
like
have
my
an ascendant
identity.
and it's not in the first house?
Well, the ascendant's right at the cusp of the 12th and the first house. That's where your ascendant is. So
okay.
I have, for example, something there in the first house. But I think also because there's a lot of this back and forth with Taurus and Scorpio with the north and the south node, there's been a lot of this energy, and I have a lot of Taurus energy, like a lot of Taurus energy in my 6th and 7th house. So I don't know. I don't know how you look that up. I think you'd have to put probably your natal chart against the energy of that day of the eclipse to see where it hits your house. Maybe I don't know if that's your natal chart. I haven't gotten too far into my studies. I pause them for now because I'm doing family constellations, and I feel like we didn't really get into that 100%. But
so I watched astrologer explain how to do it, and he said that's what you're supposed to do. You go to your natal chart, you check to see where your Scorpio begins, and it's like really next to it because it's 2 degrees, so it's right next to it. So, and what house falls there?
Anyway, definitely some interesting energies that we're going to have to really lean into. A lot of these emotional things, a lot of these changes, and not resist them. Especially, I think a lot of the Scorpio energy, if any of you are familiar with the sign of Scorpio, it's a lot of like this death and rebirth and transformation and feeling things and learning, right? So I definitely feel like, oh, here it is. I think I found it. So, I don't know what I just did there. Interesting. Anyway, I'm not going to get too distracted because
you're going to take a while to find it.
I'm having fun on the app. I'm just like, oh, cool. Anyway, I find it interesting. I find it interesting for a lot of us.
It is really important, and I think for a lot of people, it's going to close wherever it needs to close. But I think that, like you were saying, we have to be open to it. We need to remember that whatever it closes, because some people might be excited for change. Some people, the change that's coming in, it might feel a little sad, or right, you might feel resistance to it. We have to remember that it's for our greater good. Whatever it is closing, it's because you're closing that door for something better to come in that's going to suit you more.
And
so
you
have
can't
to remind ourselves.
And you're not going to let it in if you're not letting go of what you're holding on to. Like you have to. So I think it's a big part of what a lot of us, it's like that final lesson, right? Of like everything that we've lived the last few years, especially this last year, I want to say, anything that we were holding on to that no longer was serving us, they're asking us like, let go of it. You know what to do. It's fucking hard. Sorry. It's darn hard, but you got to do it.
You know what? Have you ever have you ever met someone or maybe you don't know them as a friend, but you've heard them say a phrase, and for some reason you carry that phrase for the rest of your life?
Like what? Who? Well, you have to say who, but what?
No, yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is something that you heard somebody in school say when you were in Uruguay. The guy was like, "I did a 3-month course."
Yeah, well, that makes more sense. Yeah.
So I think sometimes when mom will be like, "What are you up to?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just finishing this course." Oh, and then his voice comes in my brain. I did a 3-month course. That's one thing I'm thinking, and his example that you can think of. But the other one is my ex-husband worked at a hotel. And there was this guy who was like a complete character that worked in his department. And so Salvino's my ex-husband. Salvino would come back home sometimes and like repeat some stuff that the guy said, and it would be like it sounded like wise things coming out of his mouth, but he's a joke. This guy was just like a jokester, and so like it was said in a funny way, but still it was like actually he's giving some good advice over there.
Like what?
So one of the things was supposedly when people got funny or weird, he'd go, "Be yourself. Come on now, be yourself."
Oh my gosh.
And so it was a joke at the house with Salvino, where like every time one of us was like doing something or we dropped something or something happened, it would be like, "Be yourself. Come on now."
Oh my gosh. I don't remember you ever talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that Salvino would do, and then it kind of like became a joke in the house. And then I always was hoping that he would come back with like, "What's the next phrase this guy's gonna say? It's gonna be our next thing." Like it was like.
It's always nice to have like a coworker that makes you kind of like laugh. I don't know. I've had a few jobs where it was like that person that always brought the energy up, that vibe up, and it's like you kind of forgot that you were at work. I always liked having people like that around me. It's nice, isn't it?
I can think of another coworker we both had at the same time, but if I translate it from Spanish to English, it doesn't make any sense, really.
That's the thing. Things get lost in translation.
Yeah,
totally.
So, but I was just thinking about that because when you were saying closing the cycles and like the resistance and things like that, and I was be yourself, man. Come on now, be yourself, because we're trying to become our superior. Like we're trying to become the. We're trying to connect and bring down the character that is like our actual higher self. Yeah. And we're supposedly letting go of the character we've been playing this whole 3D time.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, now it's time. Be yourself. Now come on now.
Yeah, no more hiding. No more like,
yes.
It's time to shine. Like it's time to let yourself go.
3D. Lorena suited 3D. But now it's time to bring down the actual traits, personality, and abilities that the higher self really carries. That's the essence of it.
I do feel that requires us to go through a little bit of hardship right now in order to do that. Like because there's so much that's brought us back, that's separated us from that. So that right now for some of us, I'm not saying everybody is probably going through this, but a lot of us, specific probably energies and signs and astrological alignments that will feel more like we do right now. I think you and I are going through similar things. So I think we are very much matched up with things energetically. So we both feel like there's changes coming. There's things that we need to move around and do different and make. And I keep getting this feeling of like it's now, because if it's not now, it feels like this energy is helping us. Does that make sense? Like if it's not now, then it might become more difficult later.
It's like surfing. Like you're going to try to get on the surfboard when the wave's coming, but once the wave passed, like it's going to be that much harder to get on the board.
Yeah. And remember guys, like we've all been doing so much work, regardless of like if you're getting readings from people or if you've been doing it yourself or if you've been connecting to yourself and meditating, like you've been putting in that hard work to get to know yourself, to connect to your purpose, your mission, to heal yourself. Like these are opportunities that we have energetically to it's like we quantum leap, because the more we can make those decisions consciously and for ourselves and for our higher good, to me, that pushes us forward so much quicker. It propels us forward in a way that maybe if we did it in a year's time when we like past that moment of an energetic moment, it might feel harder. It might feel more forced. It might feel like the universe isn't supporting you, pushing you, right? So I think even though it feels hard, a lot of us know deep down that we're ready for that change. We're ready for that shift. We're ready for that movement forward, and that we can't keep holding ourselves back in anything, like not even our potential, but also in how we're living. Like, is how you're living right now feel aligned? If not, then we have to make that change. You can't continue the way you are. If we don't change something or make a different choice or move directions, we're staying in the same spot we are. And I read something the other day. It's like, I don't fear change. I fear staying in the same space, in the same spot a year from now. That is the scariest thing right now for me.
Yeah.
I don't want that in any sense, not even with the work I do. Like, that's why I'm studying. I don't want that in the sense of like feeling trapped anywhere like we did a couple years ago, or like even just last year. I don't want to feel that in my relationships or in my healing. I don't feel that in any sense. I want to feel open. I want to feel free. I want to feel expanded. But I know that just doesn't come because
and that
I wish
growing.
it upon.
You want to feel like you're growing in some sort of way.
Yes. That you're growing, that you're not stagnant. And I get that question a lot, like in readings, like, how can I not feel stuck? Or why do I feel stuck? Or why is this feeling of stagnation? And a lot of times I'll feel like, well, you're not stuck. You might feel you're stuck, but that's a mindset. That's your ego making you feel stuck. But then they'll acknowledge everything that person's been doing up to that moment that they came to that reading. Well, you're doing this. You're not stuck. It's your mindset that's stuck. You think you're stuck, but you're not stuck. And that's a huge mindset shift, that if we know that we are in control, that we can make that slight change, even in a decision or how we wake up or how we end our day, that can literally shift everything around us. Like I'm looking at that in an energetic sense with the family system. Like a lot of people think, wow, this thing happened in my family and now I'm going through this and I feel like I don't know how to fix it. It's like, well, don't focus on them, focus on you. Because when you shift, when you heal, that automatically changes the energy in the whole family. It could take time to adjust, right? I'm not saying it's like magic, but it starts with us. So it doesn't matter if we're alone, we're married, or we have kids, or we don't have kids, or if we're living abroad. It starts with us. We have to make those decisions for ourselves, and it starts with our mindset. Our belief system, that's huge. We talked a lot about that in the meditation episode. Mindset is everything. It could literally hold you back from living the life that you want.
Or make you super successful.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think like someone that's been successful in life, I think that what might make them different is that no matter how many times they failed, they decided that they were going to do it.
Yeah. Because I think with that failure, I'm going to use quotes here, like air quotes. Failure doesn't really exist, right? It's a lesson. Everything's a lesson.
Or it wasn't time, or it was a lesson.
Or it wasn't time, or we were forcing it when we weren't supposed to be forcing it. We weren't allowing ourselves to flow and feel and do the work that we needed to do. And that's ego when we're forcing things, right? But at the same time, it's like when we get into this mindset of like, when something happens to us, we haven't failed, because that's a victim mentality.
Yeah.
Failure is a victim mentality. So that's ego. That's pure ego. And we can get away from our ego, then we start to succeed because we won't give up. Or so for some of us, it's not even that we give up. We won't even try. We won't even do it. We'll give up before we even started.
Yeah. Or you'll think about it and you're like, yeah, maybe tomorrow when I wake up, Monday, I'll start Monday.
Yeah. No, start now. Like, even I think about it in the context of like how I started going to the gym again. It had been years since I had become consistent with the gym, and now I'm literally addicted to it. But because I think I took the pressure off of like, first of all, I had a plan. I think that's huge. Like with anything, it's like, why are you doing it? First have a why, and then have a plan. Because my thing was like, I was going to the gym. I was like, oh, what should I do? I'm not sure. Like, maybe I'll do this machine here. Maybe I'll lift some weights over here. And then all of a sudden I come home. I'm like, yeah, that was all right. But I need a plan. What is my goal? It helps propel me forward. And I have the structure. So I know I'm in at this time. I'm out at this time. And then I don't have to think about it anymore. It's out of my mind. It's in my calendar. But then you start to see the results from the consistency. But that could take weeks and weeks, right? Like right now I'm on week 8 of a program, week 8. So I've consistently worked out 6 days a week for 8 weeks. Well, I'm on my 8th week. And I'm starting to see the progress with the amount of weight I'm lifting and how I feel in my body. and physically in my body, I'm
so
starting
the
to see
time
the
that you
changes.
managed to keep the meditation, the workout is the amount of time I've managed to keep the meditation.
That's
So
interesting.
it's funny, you're experiencing it in one form and I'm doing it consistently in another form.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, the working out is very meditative. It's very much like, I think also because we work from home, I think it becomes difficult to find reasons to leave the house that aren't just running errands, or, where I can be with myself with my music. And it's a little bit of socializing too. I like to talk to people while I'm there. And it's like,
it's different for me because I have to go in and out with Aurora, of course.
yeah, for you, you have a very different lifestyle for sure. But I think you have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that
I've been working out from home, but
that's just as great.
Yeah.
That's just as good, especially since you're in and out a lot. Like maybe you like that quiet of putting on some music and just, but how you have to have a plan.
Spiritual podcast or an interview or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But my point is like, when you get out of that mindset, like if I miss a day, I've failed. No, like I missed today for reasons out of my control, but I'm like, all right, I'll just get back at it tomorrow.
I find it pretty easy once you make it a habit. We talked about this before.
Yes.
Because it becomes kind of
who you are.
I miss it when I don't do it. Yeah. Like the fasting. I've been doing it for I don't know. In a few months, it'll be a year, I think.
Wow.
Where Monday to Friday, fasting. The only time I missed it was when I went on vacation, right? And now when I don't do it, my body I can already tell from my body's acting different. Mm-hmm. Like in a good way, it acts when I'm doing fasting because I don't have all the inflammation. I'm, my like bathroom cycle is all
your sleep
the same.
Probably.
Yeah, sleep really well. So I've stuck to that. And my meditation's been funny because I didn't realize this until the other day. Somebody pointed out to me because I was talking about how one day while I was doing the meditation, I do always feel that frequency coming in and it gets strong. But one of those days I felt it was like, those goosebumps you get when we do readings of confirmation, that, Lorena, times like 5 all over my entire body. It was like, it was like, it's like slime had rained over I had clothes on, of course, but it was like slime had rained on my body. And I went, oh my God, that was freaking amazing. And my mind was thinking, right? Like, wow, that's amazing. And it continued for like a little bit, maybe, I don't know. Cause when you perceive time, when you're meditating, I can't really tell the real time, but it felt like maybe it lasted a minute or two, but it was intense. And so it started with that day. And then I was in the middle of the night sleeping and I went to turn around. I was like, when you get comfortable, and I went to turn like to my other side and it hit me again. Like that. I was like, wow. And then, I was like, wow, that's weird. It happened to me like today during meditation well, before I went to sleep, but now it's happening while I slept. I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I was on the couch with Aurora and she was talking to me and I was reading a spiritual book. And then I really got into the book and I was reading and then it hit me again. And I was like, whoa. And then I was talking to a friend of mine. I was telling him about it. And then he sent me remember we talked about the sacred codes?
Yep.
So I was like, oh, I really want to make sure that I get this and I need help with this. And he said, oh, you need to use, because he's really into the sacred codes. You need to use sacred code, and he gave me like the code number. I was like, oh, I'm going to start doing it. And then literally, Lorena, I went to do it, and that energy hit me again. Like I could hear my ears, and he said to me, because I was talking to Julio, and Julio said to me, you know what? It really seems like the meditation's making you be more sensitive to the frequencies. I said, holy, I didn't realize that's what's happening. You're right, that's what's happening.
That would make sense, though, right?
Yeah, I guess so, but it's not something I ever, I didn't think about it. I never expected it.
No, but
I think everybody's different.
Yeah, obviously, but I think you become more attuned to everything when you meditate and you get connected to yourself and you relax, right?
Yeah.
And the intention, what intention are you putting forward when you're meditating? I think that also might play a role in it.
I had to go to Amsterdam for like half a day, and I went, I was feeling great, and I went and I did everything I had to do. And when I started arriving back at the central station, I was going to take the train back. My head started, I heard a lot of people angry. And also we have the whole Eclipse thing going on, and people are triggered probably. And I heard quite a few people on the phone, super angry at other people. And there was some energies going around. And when I got to the station, when I finally got on the train, I thought, my head is killing me so bad.
You're connected to all of it.
Yeah. And I didn't take anything. I was thinking, I don't want to take anything because I know it's low frequency. And I was like, but if I can't deal with the pain anymore. So I meditated, and my head was hurting me so much that I meditated laying down. Like I couldn't even sit up. And I managed to get myself to sleep after the meditation. But I thought, I can't even be in cities anymore without like, just like going, oh, it's too much.
I think some people have become more like sensitive to those things. So many people moved out of cities with what's happened in the last couple of years. Like it's kind of like you vibrate at a different frequency yourself. So anything that's lower than you, it becomes hard to, you have to protect yourself too.
If you're going to dedicate to developing that, then you really have to think about where you're going to live.
Of course, yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm okay where I am because this town is pretty small. But I had to go one day to Amsterdam. I came back with like the worst headache.
I don't love cities. I do love cities. Like I love visiting cities and knowing that like I'm there for a while and enjoying it. Like when we went to New York City a couple years ago, like you know that there's a beginning and an end to that. And you can fully soak it in and enjoy it and choose the activities and how you do it. That was fun too. That was a fun trip. But for some time now, I think it was probably after Brazil, I was like, I don't want to live in a big city anymore.
Yeah.
Does not feel right for me. I think the fact that also we grew up in a place that was like the beach and there was just so much nature and you can go walking and bike riding and it felt safe too. I think that also played a huge role. And then like us adapting to that, even though we lived in the city to study and stuff, that also didn't feel too city-like sometimes because we were living in front of the water.
Yeah, our view from the apartment was the water, and we lived in the part of the city. It was more like it was like its own little town inside of like.
It had everything we needed. Yeah, it had like a little supermarket, a pharmacy, restaurants. Like it was great.
Yeah.
So it felt like
I loved living in that area.
I think that area allowed me to enjoy the city because I could have never have lived in like the middle of the center of the city.
Oh my God, no, me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I think the whole like energetic thing is something we're probably going to be more affected by right now too because of this collective energy of the eclipse. So I wouldn't be too alarmed if you're starting to feel heaviness. Like maybe you're feeling your emotions and other people's emotions. It feels like a lot right now. Like,
yeah, there was
I feel heavy at moments.
I don't know if it's that people were more triggered or I was more open to like spot it. Like I was more able to like, because I was walking and I heard someone getting mad about a package and then I heard someone else getting mad about someone else because they were making them wait. And I was like, wow, people are getting really really triggered. Like, and I'm hearing phone conversations. Like I'm not seeing the other person on the other side, but like they're like actually mad at them.
But you're also never in that. So obviously you're going to be more perceptive to it because you're in your little town. You're not.
Yeah, but I used to live in Amsterdam before I lived here, and I don't remember that.
Who knows?
It was a lot of pot smoking and happiness that I was seeing. Because I lived near, like, my apartment where we were living at the time was really close to all the cafes. I was literally half a block from all the the places that sold it and the cafes and all that stuff. So it was like a lot of happy people smoking pot and really chilled out, I guess. Like, I don't know.
It's interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that I'm spotting it more, and I think that I can't handle it. I can't handle it. That's the wrong word. It's like you said, my frequency has changed, and now that one affects me a little bit more. The other one affects me more. It's an guys. It's a really interesting time to be living.
Yeah,
like I know that sometimes I say, "Oh, great idea, Lucia's soul, wonderful idea. Sign up for these amazing times." And oh yeah, great. You didn't read the fine print, right? Like I sometimes I make fun. I say that, but then there's other times where I'm like,
it's interesting.
I mean, it's insane.
It is. Our soul did choose this. We have to always remind ourselves of that. And I was listening to a video the other day of how sometimes we get so caught up in this human experience, like of heartbreak or pain or sadness. And remember, those are just like emotions. We have to just allow those to flow through us. But that doesn't define us or experience. Like, we're here to experience it all, from, you know, the grief and sadness to the pure joy and ecstasy. And I think knowing that each thing teaches us something, and get out of our heads in that sense of our ego and just allow ourselves to go through it. And especially now, like, we're being pushed to make certain decisions and move in a specific direction and let go of things that we've been holding on to that aren't serving us. Like, okay, that's hard. That's not easy, you know, especially for myself. I can say personally, I have, like I said, I have a lot of Taurus energy. I want stability. I want calm. I want things to be predictable, you know? So when things aren't that way, or when I have to move in a direction that doesn't feel that way, that's where I have to connect more with my Scorpio energy of like transformation, change, like go through those emotions, feel them all, and just freaking come out the other side a different person. Like, that's how it works. That's what we're being asked to do right now. Feel it all.
I'm ready for that.
Feel it all and just do it.
Come on now, be yourself.
Come on now, be yourself. We should make like someone in this group, in this soul tribe, should make like a meme out of that.
I mean, this guy, like, Salvino's story was insane. Like, sometimes they would be in the middle of a meeting, or the department meeting, and this guy would just be late and walk in, and he would just say that to everybody while he walked in. Like, it was a complete character. Huh?
What would they
Everyone
do?
knew how he was. Everyone loved him, but like, that's just the way he was. He didn't care. He was being himself.
Literally. That's what we all should do, while respecting people's time and their decisions. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to send out lots of energy and strength to people that are going through anything right now, because I know it's a tricky time, and make sure that you know, we're here for you. We're thinking about you.
Like, we're really being compressed.
Yeah.
It's because it's like, remember, like, we always talked about how crisis or chaos has to hit for change. And so this is like a collective pressure that's being placed upon us with this eclipse and all the energies coming in. It's like this collective pressure saying, come on, change that cycle, or change that environment, or change that, you know, person in your life, or change that job in your life, or change that location in your life, whatever it is. It's like, close that cycle, because there's something much better on the other side. So this is the pressure point, right? It's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable, and it's confusing sometimes, and it's sometimes scary, and it's not easy.
Yeah. I
don't know if you hear the cat. Yeah,
I can hear Buddha. I'm like, what's Buddha?
He thinks I'm going to let him outside. He knows I don't let him outside at night.
He'll get into a cat fight.
Oh my God. I call him Tyson now because he got in a fight with like another cat. I don't know why he keeps doing it. He's always the loser. Aww. He keeps fighting with the same cat, and he keeps losing with the same cat. It's like, well, you know your limitations. Just stop fighting with him. But anyways, the other cat seems to have gotten his ear, and now there was a slice missing.
Oh no!
But it's already healed now. But so, yeah, Tyson over here.
Oh, Buddha. It's got a little warrior energy in there. Anyway, yeah, I agree with everything you said, and I think it doesn't feel easy. But usually, like you said, these difficulties, these hard times, these opportunities we have are for us to grow. And we're literally being supported to feel everything so that we can make those decisions and do something different. Because if we don't feel this if we don't feel we're stuck, or if we don't feel this uncomfortable energy, if we feel like everything's okay, then we're not going to change anything. We're just going to be like, actually, I'm fine here. It's fine. But we need we need all of that bubbling up to really change.
The cat's like walking all over me, like hitting the microphone and stuff. I'm sorry. Wants attention.
I think he really wants you to open the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let him go upstairs. But yeah, Yeah, that exactly what you're saying. And just think about what's waiting on the other side of that change.
Yes, I think that's the thing. Like sometimes we get so caught up in like letting go and surrendering to like, this isn't serving me, and to looking to the excitement of what could come if we do open up to, because we can't bring in new opportunities if we don't let go of what's happening here right now. So we need that. We need to make sure that we're pushing forward and visualizing and looking towards what we're looking for in the future. Oh my gosh, your cat is obsessed with you.
You guys can't see, obviously, but with his paw, he's trying to get me to
He's literally trying to grab Lucia's hand to like bring her
caress.
to the door.
No, he wants me to caress him. He wants attention.
I thought he wanted you to go to the door and open it for him.
No, if he can't get outside, then I'll stay inside if you give me attention.
Yeah. I can hear him purring. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Are you happy?
Buddha.
You happy, Bubby? His name is Buddha, but I call him Bubby.
He's cute.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap up.
Yes.
Wrapping it
for
up.
the cat interruption.
Cat interruption.
Cat-ruption.
We wanted to make this a short one, really just kind of talking a little bit about the eclipse energy, and you know, we understand what some of you are going through because we're also feeling that too, and lots of changes are coming for a lot of us. Yeah. So embrace it, feel
and
it.
It happens to us too. Like we're like, I know that this is just, you know, a consequence of what's happening, and it's going to have its own positive effects later on, but we also are like a bit scared of, like, attached to these past things or changes that are coming. I'm saying, giving advice and saying things, and I'm thinking to myself, I need to take my own advice and words on a consistent basis because I'm going through those changes as well, and I'm finding it really hard to cut off those cords that are tying me to the past, right?
Yeah.
So I'm finding it really hard. Yeah,
I agree. And you have to start somewhere. Even just acknowledging it, knowing that you're still scared, but you still want to do it. Like that's huge. That can help you take that step forward too. Yeah. But embrace it, embrace all of this energy right now, and be there for each other, you know, as a community, and we're all here for you, and take advantage of this energy too. Like I said, I think if you have been looking for a change and you know that's something that you need, whatever that is, go for it. Trust. You know, I have to constantly say that to myself. I trust that everything will work out the way it needs to. And that's all I can do at this point, you know? And I think there's beauty in that because you practice what you preach, like you're saying. So, all right. So we will, I don't know if there's any news or anything we want to catch you guys up on. I don't think so, but we will be putting up a poll I will be putting up a poll in the next couple of days or weeks to get your feedback on the topics or questions. I'll put like a little box where people can just write whatever they want. So we can include some topics or questions in the prediction. So the 2023 prediction episode that we're going to do next month. And just start thinking about whatever you guys want to ask. We'd love to hear your feedback so we can include that. Otherwise, we'll have our general kind of questions that we usually have. But I'd love to be able to answer some on the podcast. That would be kind of cool. So we'll put those up. We'll put that up on our Patreon as well, and we'll have that as a part of it on there too. So if you guys have
we always end up doing an independent episode on Patreon anyways.
Yeah, we do separate. We kind of expand on things and do extra on Patreon. So if you are interested in the Patreon, that link's in the show notes. And
also, I'm actually have to make the post tomorrow. We've picked our second book club book.
Yes, I'm excited for that book.
Yeah. So I'm announcing it tomorrow. Probably I'll make the post of the book that was voted.
Amazing. Yeah. So I guess we'll do that at the end of the year. We'll figure out that date. Or maybe after New Year's. I don't know. We'll have to figure out how that works. It's not a long book if it's the one I'm thinking.
No, but it's not an easy one either.
It's not an easy one either, but it's a good book. It's a good book. I think it's a foundational book. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to join us on the Patreon. We've got book clubs. I'm doing a bunch of stuff with family constellations on there. This month I'm going to actually put up, I'm really excited, some practice stuff, some energetic stuff that I'm working through in class that I'm going to apply to help people work through their own family systems and acknowledge patterns and stuff that you can do on your own. Like, no, you don't need anybody to help you. So cool. Yeah, I'm talking a little bit about it here. I'll talk a little bit on the Patreon.
I'm gonna go to that episode and check it out. And do it myself.
It's funny because Lou and I had a really deep conversation this morning about family stuff, and a lot of that came up. And it's starting to really click for me with everything I'm studying. And it's interesting how you start to have less judgment on things. Like you start to really understand the energy around, you know, what you were doing before and how you can do better, you know, and how you affect the family system. So I think, I don't know, I feel so happy. I feel so good in that sense. Like I feel like I'm going to be able to help people really heal at
purposeful.
A deeper level.
You feel like you're on your path. That's how I feel with my universal information. Like that's the same. Yeah.
Same thing.
That's totally your thing, man. That's totally your thing.
I know. I'm so glad I took that step because it's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of studying.
Really busy with it.
Yeah, and I love it though. So, all right, we're gonna sign off. We love you guys, and we will see you next week with a new episode. Love you. Take care, and have a good week.
Bye, guys. Thank you.